Dear students, welcome to part 4 of the video lecture for chapter number 10, Commands in QBASIC. In this video, we are going to learn how to write QBASIC programs after getting a particular problem. We'll see in depth basically the concept of writing a program. Before getting into computer programming, let us first understand computer programs and what they do. A computer program is a sequence of instructions written using a computer programming language to perform a specific task by the computer. Any computer program has the following three basic units. First, input. It defines the input variable or variables, its type, and its source. Its type means whether a variable is an integer, whether a variable is a alphanumeric or string, and also it may be a date, time, etc. depending on the programming language. And its source. Source means either it may take some particular value from the keyboard or it may take some variable from or some data from the sensors, etc. Next is the processing logic. It defines the discrete steps, use of some formula or convergence or interactions, etc. to solve the given problem and to find the result. So based on the particular problem, the steps may be different. It may consist of use of formula or convergence or interactions or many other depending on the type of the formula. It may use more than these steps or the combination of all these steps. Next is the output. It defines the output variable or variables and where to put forth the output. That means whether you want the output to be displayed on the monitor or the screen, or you want to get a printout, or you want to take some other action. It depends on the type of the problem you are solving. How to write a program? A typical programming task can be divided into two phases. First is the problem solving phase. In this, a procedure or an ordered sequence of steps that describe solution of the problem. This sequence of steps is called an algorithm. Second is the implementation phase. It implements the program in some programming language. Here I'm going to teach you how we are going to implement the algorithm into a QBASIC programming language. Writing algorithms is all about problem solving. After being given a problem to solve, programmers never begin programming straight away. They will first do the following. First, think about the important parts of the problem. This is known as the abstraction. Second, break the problem down into smaller parts, that is decomposition. Next, think of the steps needed to solve each part, that is the algorithmic thinking. And next, write down the steps, which in turn becomes the algorithm. I hope you have understood this. If you want to know more about algorithm and how we are going to write the algorithm, you can refer to your previous class. Now here, I'm going to discuss how to write an algorithm to find area of rectangle. So the first step, define your algorithm's input. Many algorithms take in data to be processed, as we have discussed earlier. So example, to calculate the area of rectangle, input may be rectangle length and rectangle width. Next, define the variable. Variables allow you to use it for more than one place. So we can define two variables for rectangle length and rectangle width as length and width or in short we can write L and W. We should use meaningful variable name. Example, instead of L and W, use length and width as variable name is more specific. Step 3. Outline the algorithm's operations. Use input variable for computation purpose. Example, to find area of rectangle, multiply the length and width variable and store the value in a new variable, say area. An algorithm's operation can take the form of multiple steps and even branch depending on the value of the input variables. Step 4. Output the result of your algorithm's operation. In case of area of rectangle, output will be the value stored in variable area. If the input variable described a rectangle with length of 3 and width of say 2, the algorithm would output the value of 6. How to write program for a given problem. So first understand the problem. Next, define the variables that you are going to use. Next, outline the commands or instructions based on the algorithm. And the last, check the output after giving the tested input to the commands given. This is for checking the correctness of the commands or the instructions given. That is, here we are going to check, actually checking the program, whether it is correct or not. Okay, now let us see some examples. First, to find the area of a rectangle, the algorithm is written in the left hand side and the corresponding program is written on the right hand side. So see the correspondence. The step 1 start, we have written CLS. Step 2, input length say L. Now in QBASIC, the command for input is input, and then here we are writing a message, enter length, and we are taking the variable L that is being used in the algorithm. Step 3, in the same way, we are writing input, enter breadth B. Step 4 is the processing part, where we have written area is equal to L into B. We are writing the same way, area is equal to L into B. Next is the print area. So here we know that the command in QBASIC for the print is print. So we write print, then area of rectangle is the message is displayed, and then the variable area. Whatsoever is stored in area variable will be displayed on the monitor. And step 6 stop, we are giving end, means it says the QBASIC program that there is nothing to be executed. Stop here. Now we are going to practically see how we are going to write the program in the QBASIC. So see this particular question, that to find the area of a rectangle, I am writing this program in QBASIC now. So I'll write as it is written there, CLS, then input, enter length L, input, enter breadth B, then area is equal to L into B. Here into is the star sign, as you know that. Then print area of rectangle is area. Now here area is the variable which is displayed, and END. Now you can type F5. Just wait, it is starting. Okay, now enter length. So I am entering say 12, enter breadth say 6, and area of rectangle is 72. So I hope you have understood. So next, press any key to continue. So dear students, I'm taking the next example to find the perimeter of a rectangle. So the algorithm you can see here and the corresponding program. The most important part is here, as I discussed earlier, that any particular problem or a program will have an input, then we'll have a processing logic, and we'll have an output. So we can directly translate an algorithm into a program depending on, of course, the programming language. Here it is QBASIC. So we are using the QBASIC commands like CLS, input, parry, and print. This you should know. If you want to write any particular in any particular programming language, you should know the commands that are used in that programming language. Now let us see how we are going to do practically in QBASIC. The question to find the perimeter of a rectangle, you write the program here to check whether this is correct or not. So CLS, then input, enter length, then input, enter breadth, then parry is equal to here I have written wrong, let me correct it, 2 into N plus B. Okay, so I'm writing here parry is equal to 2 into L plus B, then print perimeter of rectangle, PERI, then END. So let's run by pressing F5, or you can go here, run and start. Wait. So again, say 12 and 6. So this is the answer. Press any key so that you can do the next program. For that, you can go directly File and New. Of course, it will ask you to save. So you want to save, click here Save and choose according to the directory here, and you can write here perimeter, parry, and remember the length of the name should not be more than 8 characters. So I'm writing here only parry1. Okay. So I hope you understood. So dear students, now we are going to see the other program, that is to find the sum of two numbers. Now to write a program now, I think you have understood. It is very easy if you know a proper steps. First, the input that you need. Second, the processing part, that is the step 4 here. Then the output part, that is step 5 here. So let us see the practical aspect of it. I'm going to run in a QBASIC now. So let me start writing the program here. So as I said, your writing program is of course very easy. First, you should know the input required. Second, you should know the processing part. And the third, you should know what is the output. If you can write the algorithm, it is good. Or you can do directly also if you can think in your brain that what are the steps. Of course, by practice, you can easily do that. These are simple programs, so you don't need to think too much. But when the programs will be complicated. At that time, you may really need to write an algorithm, and then you have to check for the processing logic by giving a proper input, because sometimes in complex program the logic will be very difficult. You have to check it. And then last, how to get the display. These are basically interactive programs. So if you give a proper message, then the user or whoever is using this program will find it good or interesting to use the program, because these are interactive programs and you are clearly giving the message that what they have to do or what they are seeing it. So the sum here is a variable. It will display the whatsoever the processing that you have done will be stored, and then end. You can press F5 to execute it. So wait. So you can enter the first number 56, second number this, and then you can see the output. I hope you have understood this. Thank you. Dear students, the next problem is to find the largest of two numbers. Here we are going to use a new concept, that is a conditional statement or if statement we are going to use, which we are going to discuss in detail in the next class. But let me first explain you this. Here we are taking the two variables num1 and num2. In this we are checking with the if condition. If num1 is greater than num2, then here this is a relational operator and it is going to give me the two values, either true or false. If it is true, it will print largest number is m1. If it is false, then it will jump to this statement. So this is also known as jumping statement. So here the program counter will jump. It will not follow a sequential order as we have seen in the previous programs. So here also the conversion is very easy. So start the CLS, the input, the same input command. Now here if we are writing simply the if as it is written there, only the print statement will be slightly different, and then the end stop. Okay, we are going to see it practically. So dear students, I have already written the particular program here so that we can do it fast. It is same as that it is written in this, which I have explained you. So let me run it. I will take two different values. First, let me take start and then wait. Okay, I'm taking now say 98. Now put comma and then write 78. So the first one, that is the num1 is the largest. It is showing me the num1. Okay. Next, if you are still in doubt, you can add here largest number so that you should know or to clear your doubt. I'm writing this so that you will know that here it is num1 is used and here num2 is used. Okay, now I'm running it again. Now here I'm using say 58 comma say 65. So num1 is 58, num2 is 65. See the output. So largest number is num2 65. So here what is happening? Here if condition is becoming false, so it is jumping. Dear students, I hope you have understood something regarding how to write program for a given problem. So we have discussed the simple programs, and the if condition we'll discuss in detail in the next class, followed by the if possible we'll see the loop also. So till then, thanks for your patience hearing. Have a nice time. See you in the next class.